Good morning. Sawadee Kap. Sawadee Kap, everybody. How you doing? Yeah, today we got a nice little subject, funny subject, interesting subject a lot of guys want to talk about. Not too many women want to talk about it, but, and also, the pollution problem in Bangkok. For months now, the Prime Minister is saying, oh yeah, we're going to figure it out, we'll figure out something, we'll take care of it, and nothing has happened. Right now, the air quality in Bangkok is 74, which is moderate, it's not bad. But for all of Bangkok, it's quite bad. It's around 170, 175, something like that. It's quite bad. 36.12 dollars to the Thai baht. 84 degrees, high at 95, low of 80. Feel like temperature is 93, and it's 78% humidity. It's hot, man. We've been going without an air conditioner for almost a week now. You cannot get an air conditioning company to come out to your home in the same day, the next day. They will not do it. There are not that many places, and they're all super busy. It's like you call them up, okay, how about next Thursday? Next Thursday? It's Tuesday of this week. You're asking me to wait another 9 days, And it's really been hot in our house, and we've got like 4 or 5 fans, and it's still hot. It's still miserable. But today, the guy is there. He came real early in the morning. He's supposed to come at 9 o'clock. He comes at like 8 o'clock. They always do that. And we'll be there at 9. Then they show up an hour early. But okay, I'm glad he showed up an hour early. They have to take our old air conditioner out, give us a whopping 500 baht, and then put a new one in. And we've got a bigger one, so hopefully things will work out. Everything will be good. So that's a start. We'll see how it goes. But I dare say it's going to be much cooler in our house and much more comfortable. Daniel, yeah, I don't know. I guess, in villages maybe you can. Maybe they don't have the same needs that they do in Bangkok, but in our area, we called like 5 places up. And we had one place that says, yeah, we'll be here tomorrow. They never showed up. They just didn't show up, and nobody answered the phone. And we're like, what kind of place is this? You tell us you're going to be here, then when we call you, you don't answer the phone. I don't understand it. So we went out, we bought a new one. We bought a new air conditioner from here in the mall. And I thought they were going to deliver it on Monday, but then my wife said no, she got them to deliver it on Friday. So that's good. So they are there right now putting in the air conditioner as we speak. Hey, Andy, how you doing? How you going? Andy is in India now. My ankle is a little better, it seems. I wanted to go walking on it today, and it's still a little swollen, and I just thought I'm gonna wait. Maybe on Sunday I'll go and walk around a little bit. I'll give it a try. I have a place picked out that I want to go to, so maybe I'll go there. Yeah, so that's what's going on with me. Good that some people can join us here. The pollution, like I said, the Prime Minister says they're working on improving the situation instead of just talking about it. And the thing is that he's been saying this for months. And I don't see any difference. In fact, it's just getting worse. Oh, I just saw this real quick here. Chinese woman held for illegally keeping a lion in a hotel room. I don't know what it is about these people. They always want to have a lion. Now all of a sudden the lion is the big thing. And also Thailand temperatures are to climb 3 to 5 degrees centigrade. So it's going to get hotter. It's not going to get better. Anyway, we're in the midst of it. But today we're going to talk about dating in Thailand. And I did date in my day. I dated a little bit. I had my fair share. I told you, Andy. I could have told you that. Andy, you've been to Cambodia, right? Cambodia has nothing on India. Cambodia is pretty crazy itself. You know, it's chaotic. But India is just, it's out of this world. I mean, and I just don't want to deal with it. That's why I don't go there. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with that chaos. Honestly, I hate to say it because I'm not that old, but I feel old. Like when I think about going to India, I think about, just to go see what India has to offer. I don't really want to go there because I don't want to deal with the juice is not worth the squeeze. That's what I say. Good morning, Mr. Wixter. That's my opinion. I like Nepal. It's a lot less chaotic. I really liked it there. I don't know, maybe I would like India, but that's not on my list. I got a whole bunch of stuff going on right now that I'm thinking about, so, you know, I'll deal with that. But today we're going to talk about dating. And I know there's guys out there that want to know about this. Well, where should I meet my girl if I don't meet her in a bar? Well, I mean, use your head. Anywhere. Really, pretty much anywhere. But I'll give you a few places and tell you a little bit about, you know, what to do, what not to do. India is worse than Vietnam traffic-wise. It doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me at all. I've been in places in Vietnam where there was no traffic, where it was, you know, you're just driving along in a motorcycle and once in a while another car or motorcycle passes you up. It was fantastic. But then you go to Ho Chi Minh and it's absolutely crazy. You go to parts of Hanoi and it's crazy. Anyway, do me a favor. Smash the like button. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Join. Become a member of YouTube. That would be nice. Go down in the description, and down in the description it tells you everything. You can use Wise to make transfers. Just click on the link there and you'll get set up. Become a sponsor on YouTube, which I already talked about. Use the Cash App, buy me a coffee, Patreon, buy one of my books, whatever. Go on social media, however you want to follow, do whatever. You know, do what you want, but do something, please. And at least watch. 30 people in the chat in the past 5 years. How many dated in Thailand and how many are married? Well, just about everybody that I know who has been in Thailand for a while is either old or married. Almost everybody I know is married. Because, you know, I think it's man's natural tendency. And if they're not, it's because they're older and they don't want to hook up with some chick who's, you know, 15, 20 years younger than them, and they're still 50 years old and still don't look very good. That's what I think. I mean, you know, I'm 62, and if I was single, I mean, a 40-year-old, yeah, maybe, okay. But you're at different parts, different stages in your life. At 40, you're still in the middle of your career. At 62, you're near being retired or you are retired. So there's a big difference. And, you know, family, gender roles, all these things, all this, the cultural differences. Navigating the dating scene in Thailand can pose challenges for those unfamiliar with its cultural norms, whether you're contemplating dating a Thai individual or simply curious about the culture. That's what we're here for. Obviously, the culture in Thailand is unique, and the dating scene is marked by traditions and customs And, you know, you can just go, oh, well, if you've got money, well, yeah, if you've got money, then fine. That's the kind of relationship you're going to have. It's purely about the money. That's what you'll get. If you want to go to a bar, if you want to pick up that kind of girl, that's what you're going to get. You want to pick one up that, you know, she cares about you, she cares, it's a real relationship. She's still going to care about the money, but she's not going to be like, okay, you know, if you want to do something with me, you got to fork over some cash. That just doesn't work. Let's see here. Unlike the Western dating scene, Thai culture places a strong emphasis on finding a long-term partner for marriage, and public displays of affection are relatively uncommon. About the most I ever see is I see younger people, generally I see them holding hands. Sometimes I see a little, you know, sneaky kissing, but very seldom do I see that. So, you know, the traditional aspect of courtship is still in effect here and plays a significant role in the culture. Let's see here. Now, when you're comparing dating in the West and dating here in the East, personally, what I think is there's not very many similarities. It ends over there and here. They're completely different. It's very casual in the West, and nowadays, if you tell a girl you never wanted to get married, would she walk away? Depends on the girl. Depends on what she wants. Depends on how old you are. Depends on how old she is. Older women don't tend to want to get married again in Thailand. A lot of them don't want to get married again. You know, after a while, man, that thing starts getting dry and dusty. You know, they don't want, they're already set up in their life. And when they're set up in life and they don't need you, I mean, my wife doesn't need me. She really doesn't need me. But, you know, we've been together for a long time. She did need me in the beginning. You know, now she needs me for support and different things. The roles have changed, and the way we deal with each other has changed. It's not like in the beginning when I said, "Oh, just stay home and watch the kids. I'll take care of everything, and you know, I'll make sure you're taken care of." It's not like that anymore. It's quite a bit different. Let's see here. One notable distinction: if you're not into bars and you're not dealing with women that you meet on Tinder that only want to get laid for some money, is the seriousness expected in the dating process. A lot of girls won't even date you if they're not interested in you. You know, in the States, the girls might not know, do they like you, do they not like you. They may, you know, they may just go out with you because they like the way you look. I mean, I guess that happens here too, of course, but in the States, you know, I think it's quite a bit different. And here, if a girl says yes, she's going to date you, then that, for the most part, unless you're just saying, hey, let's go have a coffee, maybe you do that in the beginning. But if you're like, hey, if you're full on dating and you start getting into dating, you've dated her a few times, that means you have the goal of getting serious. And, of course, the public displays of affection here, it just doesn't happen. You don't see people making out, and you know, maybe you'll see some people hug, but you don't see people macking on each other. They're not making out and swapping spit. It just doesn't happen. And if you do see that, it's because the girl's a party girl. She's in the bar. Because I've had a few when I was younger, and I remember I was in a bar one time, and there was a girl there. I didn't know if she liked me or not. I was kind of like just, you know, but she looked kind of cute. You know, she looked good. Next thing I know, I'm in a corner with her, and you know, I'm like, damn, I should take this chick home, which I didn't. because she got too drunk. she got too drunk, and she started throwing up in the bathroom, and she couldn't make her way out. And then that was the end of that. I was like, what's going on with this chick? And then somebody goes, she's in the bathroom, she's in the toilet, she was throwing up. And I was like, I'm not sticking around for this. Anyway, let's see here. Also, family, you know, that's something that I didn't really learn until I came here. I didn't learn how important your family really is. How much you should revere your family. When I lived in the States, I don't need my family. I don't want anybody telling me what to do. I didn't look at it in the same way that most Thais look at, you know, if you ask a Thai woman, most of them, they love their mothers. They love their family. Their family comes first. You know, even my wife, her mother and father have both passed away. And, you know, sometimes it'll be like, you know, she doesn't talk to her family, her brothers and sisters for a while. But then when she does, you know, they're always important to her. She doesn't want to make them too important because she's got her own family with us. But family is always important. And you've got to respect that. You've got to understand that if you're going to get involved. And listen, I don't care what anybody says. I always say this. If you want to, and you know, somebody, I forget who I was talking to, they told me that this guy had been here for 4 months and he's met a girl and she's moved in, and you know, they're a couple. And I'm like, well, how did that work? He doesn't speak any Thai. She speaks decent English. How did it work out that quickly? Now, generally, that doesn't work. You got to be very cautious most of the time. And I was cautious. I was very cautious in the beginning. I just had my fun. That's what you ought to do. You come here, you have fun. I mean, you don't have to have women to have fun. Sometimes you do. But have some fun. You know, do your thing. They're like the icing on the cake. And learn how to speak the language. And if you learn how to speak the language, then, you know, you'll know exactly what kind of person that she is. The way that she talks to people, the way that she communicates with other people, the way that she respects older people or doesn't respect them. You will know by getting to know her through the language and through how she communicates with other people. That's another thing. Let's see here. There's been a noticeable surge in foreigners engaging in relationships with Thais over the past few years. Thais are interested in, especially now, they're interested in Japanese, Koreans, and I imagine some of them are getting into the Chinese thing. Very few are interested in Africans, but there are quite a few that are interested in Europeans and Americans, North Americans, Australians. So, you know, it's enticing. The Thais find it enticing because they think that the Americans and the Europeans and all the other cultures are far different than what they're getting here with their Thai men. And the Thai men here, they are different than the foreigners. I mean, you know, it's simple. They're quite different. Thai women generally choose to date foreign men because they think that they're more mature, where Thai men prioritize partying and having fun, and foreign men are frequently perceived as having a serious and more responsible outlook on life. I don't know how much more serious. I guess it depends on the age and the type of guy, but okay. And this can be a change for a Thai woman who, you know, if she's 22 and the guy's 22, the guy might be out, I want to see my friends, I want to go do this, I want to go do that. Then when he needs a little something, he come home, you know, so that he can get his with her. And then she's like, well, what about us? What about our relationship? But then every spare moment, he's out with his buddies. That does happen quite a bit here. And, you know, the other thing is that foreigners tend to, if you know about Thai men, some Thai men are not very confident. And that's another thing that foreigners have, that for whatever reason, whether it's earned or not, they have a confidence about them that I guess the Thai women like. I don't know. Because, you know, like if you see a dark-skinned Thai guy, a lot of times they're self-conscious, or a Thai woman, they're self-conscious about their looks because they think that they're not the most beautiful in the country and people don't like the way that they look. But foreign men supposedly appreciate all the different aspects of beauty, whether it be light or dark. And while there are instances where Thais might pursue relationships for foreigners for negative reasons, such as financial gain or the desire of a visa, you really need to understand that these motivations do not and are not representative of the entire spectrum of Thais, of Thai women. You hang out in bars, ladies do not like Indians. No. And if you look at if you ever see an Indian or even Africans, wherever they may be from in Africa, if they, they generally are with women that most foreigners do not find attractive. They're larger, they're heavier. Yeah, that's all. I mean, that's what I've seen. Now, I'm not saying that they don't, occasionally get the hottie or something like that, but generally, what I see is, I see a lot of guys with women who are pushing like 250. They're big women. That's what I see. Whether or not it's true or not, I think from anecdotal evidence, I do think that it's true. I really do. Let's see here. Something about Thailand, there is a freedom, and you may not think Thailand's all that free, but if you look at the surrounding countries, and you look at the way that the cultures are set up, Burma has a military government, it's very restrictive. Laos is a communist country. Malaysia has Muslims. Indonesia has a lot of Muslims. There are Christians there, but they have a lot of Muslims. And so Thailand is a much easier, but Vietnam is, strict on relationships, or at least seemingly. And so Thailand is a place in Southeast Asia that is much easier, and the Philippines, it's much easier for men. The Thai women are free to enter into any relationship they want. I think Cambodia has a law, I don't know if it's still in effect or if it ever went into effect, where a woman under a certain age cannot marry a guy over 50. What's the Cambodian law? Let me see here. Yeah, foreigners. Let's see here. Well, this is a little bit different. Employments, okay, foreign men who wish. Yeah, I don't see that here. It's talking about you need to have $2,500 a month, where here in Thailand, you just need about, I think it's $1,300 to get married. Thai ladies not, okay. Thai like that, even in EU. Thai like what? I don't understand. Afro-American men are the exception. Surprised they don't mingle with them. Well, they do. The hot ones generally don't. But if it's a really, I don't want to say high-so, but an upper level, an upper socioeconomic African person, they may get better looking women. But on the whole, from what I've seen, not only here in Bangkapi, but down at Sukhumvit and all other kinds of places all over Thailand, they generally are not into Africans. And it's not just, oh, I think he's got a big wang. No, it's not just that. It's the whole, if you ever see some of the Africans, to me, the Africans are very polite. They don't want to get involved in it. I never get a hard time. One time, when I first started, when I was first married, a guy came up and started talking to my wife. And she came to me. And she goes, oh, this guy, da, 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 da. And I don't remember what the gist of the conversation was. But she said, oh, he wants your phone number. And I was like, I gave him a fake number. And then I said to her, what are you doing? You think this guy is a nice guy and he wants my phone number because he just wants to conduct business and make me a millionaire? No. He's a shyster. He's probably a shyster. I don't want to take a chance on it. I don't want to give him my phone number. I don't know him. I don't like him. I don't care about him. I didn't even get to talk to the guy. I don't care. I don't want to talk to him. It has nothing to do with where he's from or anything like that. But, you know, when somebody just walks up to you and, oh, hey, can I have your phone number? It's kind of like, what the Anyway. You know, that was our one little, but for the most part they don't. And Indians, they don't, because Indians, for whatever reason, whether they eat too much curry, whatever it is, their diet, some of them don't always smell very good. And I know not all of them smell bad, I know that, but I'm just saying. And Andy, you're in India. If you're still here, you're in India, you should be able to give us some insight onto the various smells being emitted in India. Anyway, let me go on here, if I can. Also, the male to female availability ratio. There are more available women in Thailand than men, and many of the men are not available. And the three reasons is because there are a lot of gay men, there are a lot of lady boys, and there are a lot of people who are monks. And that brings the amount of available men down. And so, you know, the women are, I don't want to say they're desperate. They're not desperate. Women don't think the same way that men do, and they don't, you know, generally, they're not as desperate. They may be, in the long run, they may be in a way where they're thinking about, well, how can I get myself a man? I knew a woman, she's a good-looking woman, and I you know, she didn't have a boyfriend. She said, I've only had one boyfriend in my life. We broke up, and I said, how long has it been since you had sex? And she was 24. She said 6 years. And I went, oh my God. We were talking, you know, we were friends. We knew each other. And I said, how long has it been since you had sex? 6 years. And I didn't want to be with her because my wife was my girlfriend. And I was like, well, and she knew I had a girlfriend. And I was like, and she's like, you wouldn't want to be my boyfriend or something? I said, no, I got a girlfriend. So she was kind of like, you know, she was getting to that point where she was starting to get a little bit worried. She thought her shelf life was going to expire. Which that happens too with, you know, people want young women. I hate to say it. Generally, most people want younger women. They don't want older women, because most older women, just like most older men, they don't look great. And most older men tend to age better than women. You lost your smell senses? What? What is this? Let me see this again. I lost my smell senses here in India. Really? So is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Because when I was in Bangladesh, and Bangladesh is one of the filthiest places in the world. You know, it's almost, I would say it's almost on par with India. It's pretty bad. You don't want to fall into the river. What is that? I forget the name of the river. But we went out on the river. I was on the river, and it was just, it wasn't what I wanted. I did not want to be in that area. I was like, no, it wasn't. The Ganges is in India. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in Bangladesh. I forget the name of the river. I had it all written down and everything. I don't remember the name of it. Let me see something here. Buriganga. It's the Buriganga River. Anyway, let me continue here. In Thai culture, now, we're going to talk about the difference in age. Because to me, my wife is 14 and a half, shit, it's almost her birthday, 14 and a half years younger than me. And in the beginning, I thought she was immature. I almost broke up with her because I thought, man, she's like too immature. You know, she would get pissed off really easy. I would say something and she'd get pissed off. I go, what are you getting pissed off about? You know, I wouldn't answer the phone right away and she would get pissed off. And then I'd call her back like 10 minutes later and I go, hey, what's going on? Why don't you answer the phone? I'd be like, holy shit, man. But in due time, and once we had kids, then everything changed. She's like super responsible now. Mrs. Responsible. So, you know, okay, that's good. But the thing is how much age is good and how much age is bad. Because most of the time, and I always say this, and you guys hear me say this, so the guys who follow me regularly, they hear me say this. How many times do you see a 25-year-old girl looking at a 65-year-old guy who doesn't, he's walking around, he's got his big belly hanging over his waist, he looks like shit, and she's looking at him going, oh yeah, baby, tonight when we go home, I gotta get me some of that. She's not saying that. She does it because it's part of the relationship and she's getting money, generally. Now, that's not always the case. There are older men who have younger women who, you know, maybe they're fairly equal. The woman, where I know a guy and he has retired now, and his woman is still working. So she makes money, and she makes pretty good money. I mean, she makes something, I think, like $100,000, $120,000 about a month. And he might make like 50. And they're fine. They don't care. That doesn't matter. And she's about 20 years younger than him. And I'm sure she doesn't look at him and say, oh, because I know the guy, and she doesn't look at him and say, oh, baby, I got to get me some of that. What a great body. He's so muscular. He's so fit. Oh, my God. She's not saying that. But, you know, there does come a point when it's not just about looks, which is another thing. You know, guys come to Thailand, they find a girl, whether it's in the bar, out of the bar, and then they have to go home. And so, if you gotta go home, you might as well forget about it. Unless you're the kind of guy who's traveling back and forth to Thailand for business, and you're back and forth like every month, every 2 months, whatever. Generally, the relationships won't work. I'd say 98% of them don't work. Now, I'm still curious here. I know Daniel is married. I know Andy is married. And that's all I know. Anybody else who's been commenting, nobody says, do they have a girlfriend? Are they planning on getting married? No, they're not planning on getting married. No, they don't have a girlfriend. Oh, yes, I have a wife. I've been married. Nobody's talking about it here. That's the idea of what a chat is for. It's not just to hear me speak. It's so that we get feedback. Because I'd like to know how many of you are interested in Thai women, and you're going to come over here and you're thinking, okay, well, maybe I'll find myself somebody, or maybe you're younger. I don't know why younger people come here now. I mean, I know there are some that come here and they're doing well on YouTube, but you know, the bottom can drop out of YouTube pretty much at any time. It's not always a great way to do things, and it's very difficult to make substantial amounts of money. Now, some people do it. Of course, there are people out there who are great at it and they do it. but on the whole, the percentage is fairly low. So right now, like I came at 32, and was it 32? Yeah, I think it was 32, and I think I got married at 37. And my wife was 23, she had just graduated from university. All right, let's go on here. Dating across age groups is a common practice in Thailand and is generally accepted. It is not uncommon to witness common to witness couples with significant age disparities where the man is notably older than the woman, and generally, from what I know and have seen, these men are taking care of the women. In Thai culture, age is often perceived as a symbol of wisdom and experience, making older men more appealing to younger women. That is a thing that, you know, there's a lot that, and I do it now, I've always done it, but my wife will go, honey, what's this? What about that? You know, and I mean, just yesterday she said, we need to go live in the U.S. because I want to get my citizenship. And, you know, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I know I want her to get it. It'll take some time. And I want her to get it, but I don't know how we can go about doing it unless she's allowed to work from there. Because we wouldn't have the same money and our expenses would go up drastically and it would kind of suck. And I don't want the ending part of my life to be something where I'm like, I have very little money because I'm living in an expensive place in South Miami or something like that. So we've got to figure it out. Which we've been trying to do, but we haven't figured it out yet. We're going to try to figure it out. Now, younger women, of course, are more attractive to older men due to their youth and vitality. But it's essential to figure things out before you get involved. Is it a financial relationship or is it a normal relationship where finances are part of the relationship? And the other thing that people don't realize is that these age gaps, they pose challenges, significant challenges. You know, and I'm starting to see it a little bit. My wife is she's a little older, but she's not yet to the point where she's really slowed down a lot. I have slowed down. And I will be slowing down in the coming years. You know, in another 5 years. So she'll probably just about be getting ready to retire in 5 years. So, you know, you have to remember that, like, if you're 50 years old and the girl is 22, that when you're 70, she's going to be 42. When you're 80, she's going to be 52. And she's 52. I don't know, but I think most 52-year-old women, you know, they want a little action. If you move back to the U.S., do you know where you'd want to live? I'd probably just live in Miami because that's where my folks are, that's where my family is, and it would be good to be near the family. Probably. I don't know. I don't know how that would work. I don't know. You know. I think you know, the whole thing is that we have to be there for a year and a half. A year and a half for her to get her permanent residency. And from there, she can get her citizenship. That's not a problem after that. But I don't think her company wants her to be working from overseas and to be doing business from overseas. I don't think they want that. I don't think they'd like that. I think if she had her citizenship, like another girl she knows that lives there now, I think it would be very easy for her. So, you know, that's something else. I don't know. We have to look into it deeper, try to figure some other things out, talk to my parents, talk to my sister, you know, because I don't really know what the cost of things are over there. So that's another thing. You know, she's in her late 40s. And the thing is that if I were to die now, well, if I were to die, say, in a year, if I got Social Security, she doesn't get any Social Security. If she gets her citizenship, and I think it's 5 years, and then let's say I die at 80, right? She'd be what? 66. She could say, okay, I want to take over that Social Security money, and she would get that Social Security money. You have to get that certificate to marry from the U.S. Embassy to be able to get married in Thailand, asking for a friend. Longhorns. Huh? Did you have to get the certificate to marry from the... No. I didn't need that to get married in Thailand. Once I married in Thailand, I went to the embassy and then I got the certificate of marriage. After I got married in Thailand. We got married in Thailand, and then I just went to the embassy. You make an appointment, and then the lady wants to, you know, the consulate general wants to talk to you. And so then you go into the embassy, you sit down in a little, I mean, it was like right off, when you walk into the embassy, the U.S. Embassy now, there's a room. And straight ahead, when you go in, to your right is the windows, and further down to the right is where you pay, and off to the left is another room for something else. Well, just when you go in to the right, there's the windows, but off to the right, there used to be, I don't know if it's still there, there's another window, and it's a little room. And you go in that little room, and they interview you in that room. And they only interviewed us for about 5 minutes. And they knew we were married. They knew after 5 minutes, oh yeah, they're married. So yeah, that's how it's done. Now, I guess you could get married. You definitely could get, you can do it either way, but you don't have to do it to get married in Thailand. It's not necessary. What is this? Asking for a friend, Longhorns. You're not asking because Longhorns wants to get married. I hope not, at least. I don't think he wants to get married. If anybody got married, it would probably be you. But I think it would take a lot for you to get married. Longhorns has no interest in marriage, from what I know. Although maybe with the right one, he would. Carnivore Chronicles, I don't see him getting married. I don't know. I guess the right one, you know, the one that tickled his fancy, maybe could make him pull the trigger, but I don't know. So here's, you know, and Carl, I know Carl, it's a different situation for you. You're not married. Carnivore Chronicles is not married. Longhorns, 2/4 Korean, not married. Andy, married. And everybody else, I mean, Daniel, married. You know, honestly, I think if I had to do it all over again, probably in the beginning, I would have gotten married. I would have went over with my wife when I was younger and had my kids. And like right when the kids were born, like after Nicholas was born, maybe when he was a year old, we take Alex, Nicholas, and her, and we all go over. We go over to the U.S. Number 4? That says that you're not very good at being married. If you say it's number 4. Listen, if you've been married 2 times, I don't think you should get married again. That's just my opinion. It says you're not, if you've been married 3 times, you're just not very good at getting married. At staying married. For whatever reason. And you know, Pathia, Bob's friend that I met a couple of weeks ago, was saying, oh yeah, it's all because of them. And that's the thing. It's never just one-sided. She's crazy. Okay, maybe she's crazy, but you chose her. You picked her. You're involved. So I think it takes I think it takes a little, some smarts and some, that's why I number them, easier to keep track of. Well, I think you should just keep doing what you're doing. Come over once in a while, have a good time. I mean, and then maybe consider moving here at some point and, you know, just continue having fun. But then, you know, there are trade-offs, and that's the thing. You know, I mean, I had a lot of fun when I was single, but there were times when I was like, this sucks. You know, maybe the chicks only want you for your money. Maybe that's all they're thinking about. Maybe you're always paying money out and you're going, what am I getting? I'm not getting nothing here. You know, so if you're gonna date, you need to, and you know, there were girls that I had that I wanted to date them and I was like, well, I don't really have a car. What am I gonna do? Am I gonna, okay, I'll come pick you up in a taxi. And I think some of them thought, oh, he doesn't have a car. I'm not gonna date him. Okay, then don't date me then. I don't care. You know, that was how I thought. But the age thing, getting back to the age, I do think that the age is, it's very important. You need to really, you need to think about the age gap. What is the age gap, and should you proceed? How old are you? How old do you really seriously think you're gonna live? Oh, there he is. He picked the wrong sex 3 times. I don't know about that. I'll take your word for it. It's kind of scary. Now, generally what we're talking about when you get into voluntary relationships is we're not talking about the prostitutes. We're not talking about girls on the fringe who are on Tinder looking for guys to, you know, sponsor them or something like that. We're not talking about that. So that's the thing. Once you find out, oh, she wants my money. Okay, well then, you know, if you want to do your thing with her, have your fun, do whatever. And then, you know, skedaddle, get on down the road. You know what they're about. If that's not what you want, then, now if that's what you want, then, you know, do whatever you want. You know, in all over the world, prostitution is available. You can get prostitutes wherever you want. It's just the price that's different. And sometimes the problem is that here in Thailand, you know, some of the women expect you to take care of them, which to them is different from I'm working as a hua. I'm working in the bar. To them, that's different. Oh, you take care of me. I take care of you. But in my own way of thinking, I think, well, what do you do? What are you doing for the relationship? How are you contributing in a positive manner? Do I have a big mansion and you keep that mansion clean and you keep me fed and you know, I never have to ask for my food? I mean, you know, it depends. But in most cases, what does the woman have to offer besides her, maybe her companionship, her friendship, and what's between her legs? There's really, what more do they have to offer you? So they have to offer something. Is she a good mother? Is she a great mother? You really don't want like an okay, oh, she's okay. You don't want an okay mother. You want a really good mother, right? All these things are things you got to think about when you're starting to get involved. You know, I know that some, hey, how you doing there, Alpharetta? I know that some people with big age differences, they tend to hook up and they stay married or whatever it is they are. They stay together. The other thing that has a lot to do with it is poverty. Is she a girl who she wants to do the George Jefferson? She wants to move it on up. You know, the video that I talked about the other day, the guy was talking about his girl lived in an old like pig farm or pig hut or something like that. They had cleaned it up or whatever and made it into a little house. And I'm like, okay, I'm not saying that, you know, I'm not putting anybody down, But like, if that's what you want, by all means, go for it. But to me, if you're gonna take a chance, why not, like I say, and like has been said in the past, aim higher. They're all nice in the beginning. That's why I start over fresh each trip. Well, it is true. And you know, as relationships progress, and I've been in a relationship for, 25 years or so, the relationship progresses. It has a life of its own, and you have to kind of keep a handle on it. You want to have sex all the time, then you better keep it up. And I don't mean up like this. I mean, you better keep it up to where, she knows, hey, this is expected. This is something that we need to do to keep our relationship going. If you're the kind of guy, I knew a guy who, he had a wife, and he would say, I have sex with her once a month. And I was like, oh my God, once a month? He was not attracted to her. He ended up divorcing her. Well, is he divorced now? I don't know if he's divorced, but he broke up with her. And, he's very nice, he's very good, and he doesn't really care about that much anymore, which for some people, that's okay. If they don't care about it. I mean, if you took sex out of the equation, it's a completely different equation. But, I think most normal people want to have sex as part of the relationship. They're getting ready to open up here. They're all frantically working here to move everything about and get everything set up. I don't know what's happened. They've got different people here. They don't have the same people that they've had here for a long time. But, I mean, they have the same people, but they must change shifts or something. So, let's see here. The other thing is that, most Thai women, and I hate to say this, they expect you to be a man. And that means when they say up to you, you go ahead and pick wherever you want to go. Where do you want to go to eat? Up to you. Okay. But then if they start griping and groaning about where you're going, you go, hey. No. You told me up to me. I picked it. If you don't like it, too bad. The other thing is you don't want to cause them to lose any face. And you may not think that it's still around. It doesn't matter. It's not important, but it is. Losing face is very important here. Jim, where are you right now? Alpharetta Jim, where are you? What's going on with you? I think you were in the PI. I don't know if you're still there. I don't think you still are. And thank you for joining us, Mr. Two Quarters Korean. It's good to see you again. Let's see here. Also, the thing is that if you were a guy who let's say that you did not graduate, you never got a college education, and you come here and you meet somebody who's got a PhD, chances are your educational backgrounds are going to work into the equation, and you're not going to be with each other. Now, obviously there are exceptions. There's exceptions to everything. But if she's a doctor about whatever subject it may be, whether it's medicine or whatever, and you were working at McDonald's before you moved over here, probably not going to work. Unless you're extremely intelligent and, I don't know, that's probably not going to work. The other thing is the language, which I think is very important. Thailand is behind when it comes to the English language, and you need to be able to talk. And I wrote about this, I've talked about this, where this old guy I don't remember how old he was, but he was pretty old. He said, oh yeah, I got this girl staying with me, and he was asking me all these questions. And I hadn't been here all that long. I think it was like 5 years or something. But he had just got here, and he met this girl. And what happened was, he was fairly well off. He was from Texas also, I do remember that. And, you know, it was a visa run. It's a long time, so it had to be more than 20 years ago. It had to be about 27 or 28 years ago. And he said to me, he went into a restaurant, he had a meal, and he said, oh, tell the chef it's fantastic, oh, it's so great. And so this girl came out who was cooking the food. And the guy said, oh, the food is very good. And he wanted to get involved with her. So he told her, hey, you know, if you want, you can come and see me. Here's where I live. I'm booked to return in May for 3 weeks and gonna meet up with a girl I met last trip. Huge age gap, but there's potential. All I would say is be careful. You know, I've warned you before, Carnivore. I've just said be careful, take it slow. Eventually, she will reveal her hand and motivations will be known. You'll figure out the motivation or motivations for her wanting to be with you. He said, oh, I think he's so cute. He's the cutest guy I've ever been with. Okay, probably not. Hate to say it. Cool. So that's something. But this guy, anyway. So this guy, you know, he gave the girl his address, and then, you know, like a couple of days later, she showed up on his doorstep with her bag, with 2 little bags. And he was like, she didn't speak a word of English. And he didn't speak a word of Thai. And yet he brought her in, and I remember him telling me, yes, we have consummated the relationship. She always wants to do it. She's young, I'm old, I can't keep up with her. But I don't know what she's saying. And he said he used to get pissed off because you go into a taxi and the girl would start talking to the taxi driver. Which sometimes that happens. I mean, my wife does it sometimes. She'll talk, oh yeah, really? Oh. And then, you know, maybe the guy's from the same province that she comes from or whatever it is. Maybe they just want to talk, you know. And I'm like, okay, it's not a big deal. The guy's like, yeah, but it kind of pisses me off because I don't know what she's saying. I don't know why she's talking to her. I go, dude, you got to drop that shit. As long as she's, you know, coming home at night to you, I wouldn't worry about it. If she leaves you, okay, then you go, But you need to learn how to speak Thai. And she needs to learn how to speak English. I told him, put her in an English school and you go to a Thai school. I don't know what happened, but that's what you need to do. So learning to speak the language, I don't care what anybody says. I think it's extremely important. Very, very important. You want to know what they're saying and what they're saying to people around you and what they're saying to people that they talk to, maybe about you, whatever. You want to know these things and you want to be able to communicate I mean, if you learn how to speak basic Thai and they learn how to speak basic English, you can probably get your point across to them and they can get their point across to you. I will say this about my wife and I do not ever remember having a problem because our language skills were so abysmal we couldn't communicate. We didn't have problems because we couldn't communicate what we wanted or what we needed or what we wanted to do or whatever it was. We didn't ever have that. Because she spoke a little bit of English, and then she immediately started speaking better English when she got with me. You know, in a couple of months, she was speaking a lot better. And I was speaking Thai better, even though she even to this day, she thinks I speak like a kindergartner. She just laughs, you know. But if I want, when we go to another country, we can communicate in Thai, and we don't have to worry. Most people, you know, they're not going to speak Thai. In Ecuador, when we're speaking, they're in Thai, they don't understand us. Now, you may ask where to find them, and you know that's always something that you have to think about. But the gender roles, that's important also. I forgot to talk about that. Now, if you're working in Thailand, you know you're not supposed to dip your pen in the company ink, so to speak. You're not supposed to do that. But sometimes in Thailand, it's acceptable. And I remember my wife was working as a cashier, and I said, listen, we're going to get married. Things are going to be fine. Why don't you quit your job? And I'll make sure that you're okay. And you know, she goes, I'm gonna go in and just tell them in person. She went in, she worked the last day, boom, that was it. She never worked there again. And I was glad about that. And then I took care of her, you know, for like 8 years. It was me footing the bill for everything. And I didn't mind, really. I didn't really mind, because I didn't think she was just after that. Now, of course, you can always meet your woman in a nightclub and a bar. I don't know, maybe. If you go to like a rooftop bar and you happen to see your woman there, well, that means she frequents a rooftop bar. Probably she goes there all the time, or goes to those kind of places on a regular basis, so you better be prepared. If she's in some little, you know, some little pub or something like that, and you meet her, and, wow, I haven't been out in like 3 months, and I just came out because my girlfriend asked me out. Okay, well, that's a little different. Yeah, I don't think you really want to be somewhere where the music is extremely loud, and you can't really talk to her. I mean, usually that ends up in one of two ways. You say goodbye, maybe you get her number, or you end up taking her home, because that way you can hear better. But then you're not generally talking. Now, as I've been saying, the gym is a good place to meet women. I don't even know how many women I've met, but I've met a lot since I started going to the gym. Probably 50 women, but I'd say, you know, got to where I talk to every once in a while, or sit down. I'm sitting down waiting to go into the class or something. Probably 20, just at the gym. And I know I mean, there's one girl, she's 40 years old. She's never had any kids, and she looks good, and she doesn't have a boyfriend. And I'm like, somebody should be tapping that, you know. Some 60-year-old guy should be hitting that, or 50-year-old guy should be hitting that. So gyms are another place. Obviously, the main way here in Thailand is through a friend. You know, my friend knows this girl that knows a girl, and we're all going to go out. You want to come with us? Yeah, okay. And then, you know, it's kind of assumed that you two will start to maybe get to know each other, or maybe if you like each other and you pique each other's interest, you go, hey, you know what? She's pretty cute. And you talk to her a little bit. Hey, can I have your phone number? She may say, can I bring my friend with me when we go out? Okay. You go out once, maybe she'll want to bring her friend a second time. I don't really think so. If she wants more than 2 times, you say, no, let's go out alone. And that happens a lot where you meet through friends. That's how I met my wife, through friends. You know, parties, whatever it might be. Now, I'm looking at a list here. It says coffee shops. Yeah, maybe coffee shops. Maybe you go out and you find one in a coffee shop. You find a barista, whatever it might be. You know, or maybe you go in. I mean, I was just talking about someone that I saw in the gym because she joined the gym, started working out, and she's really been working out hard. A long time ago, I saw her in Starbucks all the time. And she'd come in all the time and she'd go, oh, hello. But she had 2 kids. And I was like, oh, she's probably married or whatever. No, she wasn't married. She was not involved anymore with the father. She goes to the gym. Now, I did see that she hooked up with some like Finnish guy or Swedish guy or something. I don't know what he was. And then she went to the gym. She's been putting in the work, you know. So she was in the coffee shop, and she actually went to the gym, and now she's in the gym. So if you go to the coffee shop, maybe you'll see some girl, and she's in your gym too. I don't know. I mean, it could happen. It's only because this is, from this area straight back is a relatively small community. I mean, you know, if you live in this little area, then you basically, a lot of people just live right in this stream, this section. Anyway, let's see what else here. Respect a Thai woman by treating her with dignity. I think you should treat every woman with dignity. You know, really. You treat them just like they treat you. If they don't treat you with dignity, you don't even talk to them. And as far as the language goes, I do think you should be working on the language. You should, maybe that's another way you hook up. And I've said this a lot. Some girl goes, oh, will you teach me English? Sure, okay. If you're interested in her, it's a good way. In fact, I know a guy who met his wife that way. He's still married to her now. But you tell the girl, yes, well, you know, where would you like to study? If she says at a coffee shop or something like that, okay, 1 or 2 times you come to the coffee shop, then you go, hey, how about you come to my apartment? We can leave the door open. Whatever it is. You know, how about we go to your apartment, we leave the apartment. You don't want to invite yourself to her apartment. But you could invite her to your place, and you just say, if you want, I'll keep the door open, you can trust me. And most of the time they go, don't worry about it. And then, you know, be trustworthy, and then usually it works out from there. If they're interested in you, they're not just interested in learning English, you know. Yeah, the other thing you do, you don't have to talk about sex with them. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. I remember the first date that I went out with my wife. We went to Khao San Road with a group of people. There was 3 men and 3 women. And I said to her, let me give you a little money for a taxi. And she goes, oh, no. And I go, it's okay, I'll give you the money. I gave her like $200. And as she was going to get into the taxi, I kind of guided her with my hand. I don't know if that, you know, if she felt anything from that or if she even remembers it. But I remember it because I kind of guided her into the car and I was holding her arm a little bit. That was the most I touched her. And I remember trying to touch her sitting at the bar or wherever we were. What was it? A restaurant or something like that. And I kind of touched her and she goes, no. She goes, you don't touch me. I said, what? She kind of taught me. You don't need to touch me. And then later on she touched me and I go, what's the deal? She goes, well, if I want to touch you, I can touch you, but you can't always touch me. So, anyway, And then if you're really, to me, you can always use online dating. I would say use that sparingly and be careful. Don't get too involved because you might get yourself in trouble or you might get laid. Who knows? What is this now? I'm looking here. They changed something on the YouTube screen. By the way, I wanted to say something. You know, I've communicated a few times via videos about the wacky tobacco. I've communicated about that a couple of times. Every single time, even if it's just news. Nope, cannot monetize. They blocked me from monetizing it. So that's not good news. I was really bummed out about that. I'm like, are you kidding me? You can't even talk about something because it has to do with, you know, is it for medicinal use or another kind of use? Got to be careful what I say because they have words that trigger things. Anyway, I guess that's all I have. I don't know. Oh, they did. Yeah, they moved it. Oh, I see now. They moved. Let me see here. Oh, I see. So they've moved the controls on the screen. So if I want to reverse it, I can touch the top. Oops. There you go. You see? Instead of the bottom left, which is what I used to touch. What is the deal here with this? Okay. Anyway, anybody else have anything to say? Got 41 people here. Nobody's talking. Always amazes me. Smash the like button, subscribe, super chat. Thank you. Appreciate that. Super thanks, whatever it is. Go down in the description, check it out. Any travel plans? Yeah, well, I was planning to go to Greece and Albania. And my wife said, yeah, but you know, the paper I put in said like Luxembourg, Liechtenstein, Switzerland, France. I think we need to go there. I'm like, I don't care where we go. It doesn't matter to me. I really don't care. You know, I don't even care anymore. I'm not thrilled to travel. I really would like to travel to places that I don't know about, that I can learn about, that I can experience new things. And so, you know, like going to somewhere like Luxembourg would be cool, but it is expensive. Going to Switzerland is cool, but it's expensive. That's why I picked Greece and Albania, because they're not expensive. Now, maybe I could talk her into going to France. We land in Paris, we spend a couple nights in Paris, and then we go to Greece. I don't know. So I'll figure it out. Ironic, YouTube is headquartered in California where it's legal and they won't monetize a video. Yeah, I don't get it. And, you know, I'm going to have to look and see if I can write them again, because I know there is a way that you can give feedback. But the feedback does not change whether or not it's monetized or not. And it really bothers me that, to me, they're hypocrites. I don't like YouTube. I'll say that right away. I mean, granted, it's a way to make money. It's been a way for me to make money for a long time. And it's the best thing going. So I like that about it. I don't like, to me, that it seems like they're very wishy-washy, and because of the magnitude and the size of the website, there's no way to talk to anybody. Because hiring people to answer what I can only imagine is millions of questions would be too expensive. Now, I don't know why they can't use AI to answer the questions. But why would me talking about something that they're planning on voting on Tuesday, this past Tuesday, why would that stop them from monetizing the video? I have no idea. Anyway, so that's all I got, I guess. I'm a little surprised. You got 41 people right now. You had 42 just a second ago. And you got all these people, and there's very few people that will talk. There's a lot of lurkers. Don't be shy. It's about politics and advertisers. Well, isn't that what the whole world is about now? I mean, really. It's all about advertising revenue, politics, and who's in power, who's not. You know, and I mean it when I say, you know, for me, if I was single and alone, I probably would just live on some little island somewhere, get a little hut, and that's what I do. I just live in the hut. I'd probably write, take photos every once in a while on the island or somewhere else. I'd go somewhere. I wouldn't do much. I may do that now. I may do that now. I don't know. I may do that, you know, like in the coming future. I don't know. You know, bring the wife. But I don't know what she wants to do, you know. Well, you're chatting now. Anyway, you know, stay in Thailand, go to some little island most people never have heard of. I might need a witness in May, and I'm not sure if I can completely rely on Longhorns. A witness? Oh my God. Oh my Buddha. What are you planning on doing? I have no idea what you got in mind, but unbelievable. Now, I do believe that by the time I get home, our air conditioner is going to be working, and I'm going to be very comfortable. Which, if you've ever lived without an air conditioner, let me just tell you, I sleep in front of the fan when we don't have an air conditioner. And I'm still hot. It's still really hot. I inspired you to hit the gym today. Well, that's good. My ankle is thrashed. And, you know, I put tennis shoes on today, you know, trainers, because I wanted to see if they make a difference when I walk. I do think my ankle's getting better, but, you know, Jono was the one who said, you know, you got to keep off of it. You got to stay off of it and you know, give it time to heal. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. So I've been staying home, and that's what I've been doing, you know, for the past 2 weeks. I don't know what I'm going to do this weekend. I don't know on Sunday what I'm going to do. There's a place that I want to go, and I can take the Sky Train, but it still means a lot of walking. So I'm going to try to do it. It's not quite as bad, but my ankle is still a little swollen. It's still, when my ankle moves a little like sideways, it's like, ah! I get one of those jolts of lightning up my leg, and it goes all the way up the side of my calf. So, you know, that's the thing. I'm not doing yoga right now. I'm not doing anything right now, which I don't like. So I got to get back to the gym very soon. But anyway, I appreciate everybody joining me. You know, we have a little chat about the relationship thing. Let's face it, a lot of men come to Thailand because Women. That's the reason. They come for women. I go to the gym at least 5 days a week here in Pattaya. Living in this town, must maintain a healthy routine or it will swallow you up. Yeah. I don't think it's necessarily Pattaya. I think it's just about everywhere. You gotta, once age starts creeping up on you, you really need to make sure that you're doing what you can just to stay somewhat level. I think that's important. And I feel better when I go to the gym. And as far as adding another leaf in my tea, I don't ever put the leaves in the tea. I don't make it myself. I always just buy it. And I have not drank any tea in, I don't know how long, a couple of weeks. It's been a while. I don't like getting involved with that all the time where I'm always, like, every day I'm drinking it. I don't want to do that. I've been in Asia since I was 25. I'm 42 now. Probably will stay single forever. If you want to, that's what you will. I guess that's what you will do. I think honestly, I think most really good women, they always want to be with a guy. They want to hook up. I mean, I'm not saying there's not good women out there who just want to have fun, or they just want to have a relationship with somebody where they don't live with them, but they only see him, and that's been going on for, say, 20 years. I say most of the women, they want to get in a full-fledged relationship. Where are we going today? Nowhere. We're not going anywhere. We're sitting right here. We're at Pakamara in the Mall Bangkapi. That easy. What is this? Anyway, stay in the gym, work out. If anything, it'll help you. It'll help you to stay, to keep where you are. It'll keep you from getting fat. That's what it'll do. It'll keep you from getting fatter or fat. It'll keep you somewhat healthy. It should. If you don't do it, to me, it's not. You're not maintaining your body. You're not doing the things you need to do in life. And when I was younger, I used to train all the time. And it's only since I got older I've just been lazier, But I haven't been lazy lately. But because of my calf now and my foot, my ankle, got to be careful. So anyway. Appreciate everybody joining me and joining in the conversation. I do appreciate it. And I guess until next time, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Chok Di, Leo, Jerkan Mine. They changed everything on the screen. It's all different. So now when I put my finger here, how do I do this? Right there.